Okay, let's go. Hi, muckers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very, very, very well. Today's video is the first video I'm making on Tana Mongeau and Brooke Schofield after seeing them in person. I actually got to see their show in London a couple weeks ago, and it was definitely one of the more interesting shows I've ever seen. I'm appreciative that they gave me tickets, so thank you guys for that. But it was also, one of the most interesting shows I've ever watched. They brought out their friend Paige, who I think definitely, killed it on stage. And their really cute friend BB was there as well. The show was crazy. I mean, it was very, very, very intimate. And by intimate, I mean the things they were talking about. And it shocked me at parts, which is crazy. But anyways, today's topic actually has to do with them on that tour that I saw them, which is making this really interesting for me. And also, there's an extra layer added to this that's more it's more interesting for me to cover this now than what it normally would be, because they're talking about touring, and a direct thing that they're referencing in this is something that I'm currently going through as well. And this has the internet divided. First of all, the Cancel podcast is really interesting to watch from an audience standpoint, because obviously friendships have your bickering and your fighting and all the rest. But the Cancel podcast at times does kind of come across like Tana and Brooke do not like each other and are contractually obligated to complete this podcast together for I don't know how long. And you know what? That may be the truth. But again, it treads from, friends bickering and fighting with each other to, wow, these people do not like each other. In my opinion, it's just how it comes across. It's a really interesting dynamic. And I think specifically adding in the other friends into the dynamic as well, it kind of changes things. But this video is blowing up from the recent Cancelled, and everyone's giving their opinions on it, and I'm a little bit undecided, so I want to go through this with you. It is Brooke and Tana talking about that they just got back from their recent European tour, which is the one I got to see them on, and Brooke was talking about the fact that whenever they were in Paris, they were sightseeing. When they were in Amsterdam, they were sightseeing. All these different places that, are really great to visit. And Brooke basically calls Tana out to her face for not wanting to hang out with Tana and her friends when they would, arrive at a city and do a show. And Tana has a response to that, which we'll get to. And she kind of has a couple of responses, which are really interesting. And this is the first time with the Tana and Brooke situation that the public are kind of undecided on whose side they're on. And for me, I'm also in the same boat, but only because if I was in court and I had to defend Brooke's side, I would know how to. But if I also had to defend Tana's side, I would know to as well. So the main points here before I watch the video are Tana basically saying that, when you arrive, for the show, you want to keep your energy for the show, which also I can understand. I fly into the show's cities that I'm doing on the day of the show at 2 p.m. and then I do the show at 8 p.m. But we, meet people from 6 p.m. and stuff. So I normally will either go back to the hotel and sleep, or maybe I'll go out and get food. But you kind of want to reserve some of your energy. So Tana's making that argument, which I completely agree with. Now, Tana's also saying that she just doesn't like being outside, which again makes me sway towards Brooke's side, where I'm like, oh, but you're in these fun places together, go hang out. But also the standpoint of they're co-workers, so should they have to hang out if they're professionally together all the time as well comes into it. But I think another point here as well that's really interesting is that Tana Mongeau, is saying on the podcast that, I'm reviewing the Patreon, I'm spending hours working, I can't just be dilly-dallying. But then she does contradict herself, because she does say that she spent an entire day in a shopping center in Paris, which by the way is one of the most incredible shopping centers, so I feel her on that. But with this video, I have a lot of different takes on it. So let's watch it and then let's debrief it, okay? Also, I've opened my Finsta. It's normally private and it's going to be public for the next couple hours. So if you want to join the Finsta, normally we don't accept new people onto it. It's a fun little place where we shitpost. It'll be linked down below. Go follow. It's normally on private and it will be private again very soon. Come join. It is a hoot. Also, my Patreon is linked down below, where we're reacting to the Ruby Frankie documentary. We're doing Escape the Night. We're doing a lot of different stuff over there. But let's get to this video and then let's talk about it, because I have a lot to say on it.
Everyone is just so mean to me. I like to do things on my own schedule. And it is funny, even the internet's perception of me. I'll see TikToks of you three, and all the top comments are Tana is asleep. And it's God forbid I watch one of them and review a Patreon in my room. I've been getting up early. Mongeau and I have been on our own program. And I ended up in Ireland having to deal with a lot of internal work drama that I'm not going to podcast about, but it was hell on earth trying to figure it out, and that took an entire day. And then everyone's just coming at me like I'm literally a sloth and I hate my friends and I hate these beautiful places, and it's like I have other things to do.
No, it's not that. I just noticed it wasn't a priority of yours, and it's fine, but
my priority was editing the canceled Patreon.
No, that's not true. You spent 24 consecutive hours in the Paris mall, like no air.
But it's beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous.
I also was making a vlog, and that's like what I wanted to do with my day. You know,
I know. I don't know why you're getting so defensive. I'm just saying,
because I've been getting so much internal hate for me being on my own program.
Because like we just we want you to see it. What got me was you were like, God, I wish I had time to walk.
Again, I'm not going to hate on Brooke for wanting to hang out with her friend or her co-host or whatever, specifically because when you're doing a show together and it's the same rehearsed show every night, to kind of spend time off performing together is probably really good overall for your performance as well. So I do understand Brooke's point of view here.
Walk around, I'm like, you had so
I've been doing a
much
lot
time.
of other things. Like, genuinely, I have. I've also been to Paris 1,000 times. Like, I've seen the Louvre. I've seen the Arc de Triomphe.
I know, but we wanted you in house on the cliffs with us.
I was working on that internal bullshit like all day in Ireland, and I was so sad. I was crying about it. Like, I love Ireland. I wanted to be roaming around so bad, but like people had to get paid and flights had to get booked, and everybody needs something from me, you know? And that's the God honest truth.
I know.
But see that face?
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm sorry.
Like, you literally know that I had to do all of that.
I know, but I know that you're like, well, God forbid I have to watch a Patreon episode. Our Patreon episodes, by the way, are 1 hour long. And we have been
3
out of the country for 2.5 weeks.
That took 4 hours of my day. I've been talking to Devin every single day about like the structure of these. When the Alex Warren episode comes out, the Amari camera angle switches.
Maybe it's a unique situation for me because I've never been to Europe. So I'm like, obviously I want to be outside all the time, but
I do. But I do. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to be outside all of the time. I would love to be outside half of the time. And a lot of things have come up.
So here's the thing as well. It's really interesting. Tana's saying that she couldn't spend time with them, couldn't go outside because she had too much work. But now she is saying that she just doesn't like being outside. So obviously this boils down to the fact that Tana does not want to hang out with Brooke, Paige, or BB, and just kind of wants to spend time with her boyfriend, Makoa. Wants to stay in all the time. Probably wants to just watch TV. Like, I watch her TikToks. Like, she very much so comes across like that vibe. And you know what? I have no problem with that because she's touring. She is the boss of the company. She's the one that's probably paying everyone. She's the one where all the numbers are coming from. Like, I get it. That's not taken away from anyone because everyone pulls their own weight. But that's a lot on her shoulders. And again, touring is really hard. And I, have spent many days in cities that I've never been to before in the hotel. I've ordered Uber Eats and I've stayed in because it's tiring. It's exhausting. When you're, doing shows every night and you're traveling every day, it is very, very, very soul crushing as well. And it's draining. And it's probably one of the reasons that I'll probably never tour again for a very long time. And I'm doing it on a lesser scale than them. They're doing it internationally. Obviously, I'm international in America, but like, I'm out here based, so I'm flying for a couple hours, but they're flying for a lot of hours a day. And it's hard. And again, like me and my tour manager, we talk sometimes before a show, but then sometimes we just show up at the venue and see each other because it's exhausting, to just be on all the time. Because when you get to the venue, then you're working and you want to make sure everyone gets a good experience. And again, Tana comes across as a very low energy person anyways, that it makes complete sense to me that she wouldn't want to hang out with them. So do I see this as a problem on Tana's standpoint? No. Do I see this as a problem on Brooke's standpoint for being annoyed at Tana? Also, no. I think it's entirely contextual and it makes sense. I think Brooke wants to hang out with Tana, probably wants to form a deeper connection because that's her friend, and who can hate on her for wanting to hang out with her friend? You know what I mean? Like, you guys are the podcast duo. Like, surely you should be friends behind the scenes as well. I understand where Brooke's coming from. Brooke's first time in Europe, wants to share that with Tana. Then they have more stories for the podcast. I understand Brooke's point of view, but I also understand Tana's point of view, who I'm fucking surprised Tana's showing up on time. You know what I mean? So I think Tana's lying about the amount of work she has to do. I do think it has to do with she just wants to not do anything until she has to legally for shows. And that's also fine. So that's why I'm like in the middle. I see both points of view, but I would love to know yours.
Where like I end up having to do other things that is kind of on me in that sense.
You could perhaps sit in the park and watch a Patreon episode.
I'm not working on my laptop from the park. That's just not who I am. But like
in Paris.
I love Paris. We had 5. I did so much. I went to my favorite restaurant. I went under the Eiffel with Mongeau. I walked around. I went to vintage stores around the hotel.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
No,
I'm just giving you a hard time, and trust me, it's totally fine because I've been having the most fun with my girlfriend Paige.
And like, listen to me. Like, I will join you guys. Like, seriously, Ireland was chalked because of all of that shit. And like, I'm not going to bring that drama to the podcast, but it was awful. It was the worst day ever. And I had to do it. And
okay, fine. Tomorrow we're going on a hike.
Here's what I'm also going to say to you, though. I'm down for small things, but I also know myself and my energy levels.
Honestly, I love you more than anything, but you would have hated house.
Like,
hated.
I think it's beautiful, and if I was on vacation, I would absolutely take the day to do that, but I don't want to do a bunch of shit before the show.
This is such a good point. When you're visiting these cities and you're doing shows in them, you're not on vacation. You're traveling in to do the show. Sometimes, more often, you travel in on the day of the show and you have between 2 and 4 to do things. You know what I mean?
And then not have my full battery at the meet and greet and not have my full battery on stage. Like, that feels selfish to me, and I know my battery.
I charge my battery at
Yeah, you have a much bigger battery than me when it comes to activity and all of it.
And also, I think this is so valid on both of their standpoints, which is why I know people are really going against Tana and really going against Brooke for this. I don't see the point in picking a side on this because I think that they're both really valid here.
You know what I mean? So, like, on the off days, of course, I want to go do things, and I will when I have the time. But
agree to disagree. It's not mean.
Agree to disagree.
It's not mean. It's not mean. It's just like you can't say you had no time. You have so much time.
I've been working on 3 vlogs with J-Rod. Like, that is a back and forth that takes so much time. Like, I really have been prioritizing
I know.
work.
I guess you could just do it the next time you're on a world tour.
I'm not going to put my YouTube channel on pause. Like, all of the people who, like, it's not. I just uploaded. I'm uploading again tomorrow.
I know.
Like, and that takes time and effort and energy. You know?
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying.
And I'm still seeing these places in the way that I want to.
Describe Oslo to me.
Gray.
No, Oslo, honestly,
it was very colorful.
No,
honestly.
it was so.
Also, I've traveled sometimes where I need like a day or 2 in the trip to just stay in the hotel. First of all, I'm paying for the hotel. I want to stay in here. But I think that that's also really valid, and some people vacation in different ways. Sometimes the concept of being somewhere is all that someone needs.
Interesting, though, because Oslo was the first time I've ever been like, am I in a video game? Like,
Oslo was also closed down for a national holiday, and the streets were completely empty, and you couldn't go in anywhere. I was like, I'm going to spend the day editing.
Yeah. We were there for 4 days. But
we were writing the show for the other days, working on the show.
I know, but you have to remember that I also have that job.
But then you clock into doing that and then leave and go explore. Like, I'm gonna do my Snapchat. That takes an hour. It takes an hour of my day. You know what I mean? I'm gonna edit a video.
No, I get it. There's no shame in having different priorities.
Well, everyone is.
Oof. Okay. Again, I'm not picking a side in this because I see both of their sides, but I would love to know what you guys think. I just think that full thing about Tana knows her limits, and if she would do everything Brooke does, then she wouldn't be on top form for the meet and greet, and that's ultimately why you're there, you know what I mean? You're performing for the people that are paying to come see you. Let me know your thoughts. This is a really interesting one. Talk to me down below about it. I'll see you in my next one, and goodbye.